Okay, we are good. We are live. We are ready. As the season heads in to complete the first third of the championship, we are here at the home track for a lot of these drivers. We are in Silverstone. This is RPL. This is RPL's Season 5 Formula 1, Round 7, here at Silverstone. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ironwolf here, and we have a full grid. Everybody's here, and this should be a crazy track, to say the least. So the Silverstone track is going to be a well-known track for a lot of these drivers, and this should be one hell of a event. This track, it has a has 18 corners, and this should be a unique turn of events. And let's take a look at the people that are here, out and about. In no particular order, we have Egg in the Haas, Jordan in the Williams, Payox in the Alpha Tauri, Matt back in action in the McLaren, F1 driver in the Alpine, Maxwell in the Red Bull, Beatnik in the McLaren, RRL Josh in the Alfa Romeo, Weiso in the Williams, Polygon Aston Martin, AK Haas, Gecko Ferrari, Reese in the Mercedes, Redfire Alpine, Zakaria Aston Martin, DeChiller Ferrari, KVS Alfa Romeo, L74G Red Bull, TB Mercedes, and Jack Alpha Tauri. So, in last week's race, which was in Austria, it was a chaotic event, seeing only 12 drivers finish this race, and the race was won by Luke, who overcame an early spin to win the event. Reese came across the line from also an earlier incident to get a P2, and Payox puts it on the podium for Alpha Tauri. In the Constructors' Championship from Austria, Red Bull has a 15.5 point lead over Mercedes, 165.5 to 150, and McLaren sitting in third with 71. However, Alpha Tauri is closing the gap with 51. In the Drivers' Championship, Luke goes to a 10.5 point lead over Reese, 108.5 to 98. Maxwell, who did not score points at all during last week's race because of wrecking out while leading, same fell along with TB. And Matt didn't compete, so those guys are just basically where it is. So anyways, as these guys are flying around, getting themselves their first set of laps on the track, as Jordan makes his way through, down the Hangar Straight, makes his way through Stowe, now into Vale, and to finish up his lap in Club. He is going to be the first one, and he'll be setting the benchmark. Let's see what time he's got. Comes across the line, 29.2. So that's the first benchmark it'll be, and Redfire Tiger, 600 behind. And Egg came across the line, And he's only 400s behind red. So these guys setting 29s. Let's see, who will be... Okay, that's not it. Alright, looks like one of our Red Bulls here, Maxwell. Like I said, last week, he was leading the race until he crashed in turn 8. And he smashes it up in the pole with a 26.7. So Maxwell looking to get some redemption here tonight, especially after with that event and what happened. I mean, literally last week's race had a lot of insane racing, a lot of DNS, a lot of drama, and a lot of moments. Like, take this one driver we are on board with right now, KVS. Played it cool, played it calm, played it collective, and he did an alternative tire strat, and he got himself P5. P5 in an Alfa Romeo. That was a monumental moment for KVS there. And on a different moment, we did have I'll just say, a scary accident where Salt wound up going on his route, flipping over, but he came back on all fours, and he was fine. Well, anyways, moving on, so Reese puts it on top now, also with a 26.7, only about 400s clear of Maxwell there. And, oh, that's Paul got in trouble. That is just out of the cop's corner. And by the looks of it, on the wing, it doesn't appear he has any wing damage, so he is okay. But, I mean, he's gonna have to get those tires replaced, because those tires are probably, pretty much gone. But now Reese on deck. Now Reese is up and about on deck. Reese has had a bit of a weird up and down season, that's for sure. He's had a bit of a weird moment in this season so far. He was second in the first 3 rounds. Was 4th in Baku, got his first win in France, but that was because of a glitch, and then got 2nd again. So, just gonna say with honesty, Reese has more 2nd places than pretty much anybody in this season. He's got basically 4 of them already. Now the chiller, he's in action. He's doing it pretty well. And the Ferrari car puts it 4th fastest with a 27.7. And yeah. And Luke, he puts his time, and it's only 3rd fastest in Q1. I think probably Luke is sparing his time, sparing his energy for the more important sections of the track, of the Q session. Looks like we got trouble in sector 3. Now that's those are cars bunching up to get themselves a little gap to get themselves ready for it. While we go on board with Payox, last race's podium finisher, and as he makes his way around these corners, just made it through Abbey, and now into Village. Now through the loop, and it's going to be coming out of Aimtree to get into the first DRS. Now making his way down onto the Wellington Straight. And getting at that DRS. Now making his way through Brooklands and Luffield. Gets into about 2nd gear, but then kicks it up into 4th, exiting that corner. now onto the national pit straight through Cops. Basically, that pit that they went through few years back, that was the pit lane to begin with. Now making his way through the sweeping corners of Maggots, Backus, and coming out through Chapel, and he's invalidated it. And he's invalidated by coming too close in Chapel. So he's got to abandon the lap, and he's gonna have to go again another time. So basically, for pretty much a good majority of these drivers here, this is their home race. This is basically the home race. I mean, looking at the flags, you got Josh, F1 driver. I'm gonna safely presume Egg. Gecko TB, Luke, Matt. I mean, a lot of these guys. I mean, unless that is just. I mean, it could be pretty much a lot of these guys are all from the UK, but never know. But anyways, so now here is AK right now. He's been reserving in Haas for pretty much a large chunk of the season of this F1 season. I mean, basically, we just put simply, in terms of his team, in terms of his group in the Ferrari Academy, he has been having the most difficulty getting commendable drivers to actually be in it. I mean, AK, he's basically been running in 3 tiers at once, and oh, we got trouble. That is Zakaria. Zakaria has crashed it. Yes, it is. He has crashed out on the hangar straight, and that is the end of Zakaria there. I wonder what happened to him. I'd like to know what happened to him. That's unfortunate. The Aston Martin driver gone, and he said that he forgot a setup. So sucks for you. Sucks for you. Sucks for you, dude. And Josh, as we just saw, comes across the line, is in P15, and ironically for Josh, this is his debut in F1, because he was a racer. He mainly raced in F1 Tier 2, but now he has gone up into F1. Same thing also applies to Egg. He was in F1 Tier 2 and in F2, and now is up into F1. So let's take a look, see. As Jack has called it a run, he's sitting 9th fastest. And Reese is has called it a run. He's on top of the timing table, but Luke almost a 10th up in Sector 1, so he's looking to put himself on pole to wrap up Q1. Now remember, out of these drivers, the bottom 5 will get eliminated, and Zakaria, well, we definitely know is one of them. He crashed out. But the ones that will be joining him at this present time is Beatnik, F1 driver, AK, and Wiso, but the former 2 have not set a lap yet, so that could change. Most likely probably a good comfortable lap, good comfortable time to be safe and as a cutoff, as Luke just puts it fastest with a 26.5. And F1 driver puts it 9th fastest with just shy of a 28 flat. So basically, as it stands, so now once Beatnik gets a lap in, AK, Wiso, and Josh are in the bottom 4. Those guys are definitely in the bottom 4. Jordan is at risk. of being knocked out, and so is Egg, and also Red Fire Tiger on the cusp as well. And what's interestingly is that last week I talked about with Red Fire Tiger being at risk of being knocked out of Q1, and what did he do? On his final flying run, he got himself out of Q. He got himself into Q2 by putting in a P10 time. Will magic repeat again, though? That's the question. Well, we have only 3 minutes to go, and now we're going to be on tap with Beatnik. Now, Beatnik debuted in F1, in the F1 race last week in Austria. Was on tap for a good finish up until he got into a altercation with Plum Wars, which sent him spinning around, but he managed to recover to only get a P7 finish. So, I mean, it's definitely unique, that is for certain. But we do want to know, we'll see what Beatnik can do. As Payox has a problem. Or wait, nope, that's Luke sitting still over there. I thought that was Payox in trouble. No, Payox called it quits in the pits, but he's a P8 on that timing table, so he is okay. And the Chiller, who's P7, he's called it a run too, so he is okay. Looks like one of the Alfa Romeos is coming out. AK crashes on the hangar straight, so he's definitely done. Yeah, so he is definitely out as well. Beatnik, with that little distraction, only put himself P11 on the timing table. So now with 2 drivers out, being AK and Zakaria, we have only 3 more that will be joining them. And the question is, who are those 3? And at this time, it is Wiso, Jordan, and Josh. And will they manage to... Let's see if they can manage to see if they can manage to get themselves out. 3 drivers at the cusp of being knocked out. Egg, Red Fire Tiger, and Polygon. And unfortunately, with only 50 seconds left to go, Polygon is not going to get another lap in. So, it all falls on the other drivers. This backfield of drivers. So let's see what they can do. And looks like we have another car out. I didn't catch on who it was, but anyways, Wiso. Let's see how well he can do. Time to get out of it is a 29.0 as he will come across the line. As a 29.1. He's basically got 1 more lap to go. He's got 1 more lap to get it done. Speaking of which, his teammate Jordan right behind. He's next up. He's 2/10 up out of sector 2. At this rate, he could knock Egg out if he does a really good sector 3 time. But he's got Maxwell right on his tail. Maxwell might not be liking the dirty air, but I mean, that's not much you can do about it. Here comes Jordan, comes across the line, puts a P15. So he is okay. Egg is not continuing through, so Egg is definitely going to be knocked out. KVS is okay. Josh is on deck. Josh is definitely doing good. He's up a few tenths. Wiso is not improving. No, he's not improving, so Wiso will be knocked out. So Red Fire is safe. But question is, can Josh get it done as he comes across the line? And it is P15. He knocks Jordan off. Red Fire Tiger, he abandons the lap. He does enough. He's in to Q. He's into Q2. Josh is also through to Q2. So we in Q1 we say goodbye to Jordan, Egg, Wiso, AK, and Sicaria. So those 5 are knocked out. Once we're waiting on Wiso, because he's the last one to retire it, so we can move forward into Q2. But who in the Q2 cars will keep going and make themselves into Q3? Well, we will find out. RPL F1 continues right after this. And now here we go, entering Q2, and we have a few cars coming out on deck. And the first one to be out and about on track is Red Fire Tiger. So Red Fire Tiger out on the track. He's on the soft compound tires. The Chiller and F1 drive. The Chiller is out. He's on the medium compound tires. Red's teammate F1 driver is out on track. He's also on medium compound tires. Jack AlphaTauri out on softs. Now, I do wonder if the tire strap for these guys in this game is the same like it was in F1 2020. I really don't know, but we'll see as... Whoa, Red gets quite wide out of Stowe. Oh. Okay, so apparently... And... Oh, there it goes! There he goes! Oh, no! And that's the end of Red Fire. So Red loses it out of turn 1 and crashes. And that is the end of Red there. I mean, that impact wasn't that big. Looked like it was maybe a 30, 40 mile an hour impact, but it was enough to make Red DNF. So Red Fire, unfortunately, he is going to be starting in P15. But on the plus piece, though, he is going to be getting a free tire choice. I mean, we just saw it. Either he caught the curb on the inside of turn 1, or it's just on the outside of it. But he just caught the curb and it just snapped on the steer, and that was just the end of Red Fire. You're just along for the ride. So Red Fire definitely not doing too good. So that is unfortunate. So Red Fire is out. Jack is going to set the provisional time, and it is a 27-9. But let's see what the Chillers guys. He comes across the line, and it's only a 28-0, about a tenth of a second off of Jack. But that's on the medium tires though. So if he went on the soft tires, he would have had an easy 27s. F1 driver also made his run through. He had a 28.4 on those mediums. Okay, here comes Polygod. And Polygod, not a good run, 29.0. That's basically what a P15 time is. So Polygod not doing okay. Gecko puts on top of the timing with a 27.7, and Reese, I think, must have had an issue because he got a 30.2. So I think he must have had an issue during the last run of his qualifying time. And TB puts it on top with a 26.8 on the soft tires. Good lord. And so did Payox. Payox also had a problem too. A 34. And yeah, it looks like Reese is having... So it looks like Reese had to move over to let... that looked like either the Chiller or Gecko... It looked like he's let Gecko through and Matt through. So now Reese, I think he's gonna have to come back into the pits. He's gonna have to try another. He's gonna have to have another go. And there comes Josh. Ooh, KVS. Ooh, Lord, KVS. A little snap action of the wheel. Keeps that under control, and we just lost KVS. He just disconnected from the entire thing. He was on a timed lap, and he just disconnected and just glitched back into the thing. And Luke puts it with a 26. Okay, hang on, KV. I'll get you back. If this thing is playing nice, and we'll let it. There we go. I got you covered, KVS. You're good. We get you back in here. Anyway, so let's see. Where's Matt on the track? There he is. Makes his way out through cops. So Matt, what we should note is the Baku winner. That was back in round number 4 of this season, and he is, and in terms of the racing, he is the 4th different winner in RPL, because in rounds 1 and 2 was won by Luke. Round 3 Monaco was won by Maxwell, and Matt, top of the timing. Wow. Matt, as I would note, won round 4 in Baku. Then the shortened Bug Race of France. That was won by Reese. And then in round 6 was won by Luke. And if we took those same 6 races, like it was yesterday, like it was last season in season 4, those same 6 races were won by Luke. Like, Luke won all 6 of them. He did it in season 4 and did it again in season 3. And Beatnik, look at Beatnik, P5, a 27.9. 6 milliseconds clear of his boss, Jack, too. Just want to mention on that. Josh, by the way, puts a P11 at this point with a 29.1. Well, how can I literally put it this way? Well, once KVS gets back and Maxwell gets himself on the timing table, Reese and Ja, like literally Reese is at risk of being knocked out of Q1. And speaking of Maxwell, Maxwell's gonna have to go again. He invalidated it. So Maxwell having a DeChiller moment, having trouble staying on the lap point, on the track limits, and actually getting a time lap in. So track limits is starting to get to some of these guys. Some notable corners that will be causing track limit warnings and penalties. It is track limit warnings and penalties. We'll most likely see them in turn 1, which is Abbey, turn 9 for Cops, Maggots and Beckett's, you might be able to see that, and Stowe. That's where you'll be able to see quite a bit of that. Well, can't believe I'm gonna be saying this, but just something to note, a fellow on Twitch called Blackbird28 gifted RPL a tier 1 subscription. Sounds like he just gifted a tier 1 subscription to a friend of his, or just gave us one for a friend's channel. But I'm thinking it's probably the former, so that's very good. That's the very first thing I've seen for that to happen. Okay, so well, that was weird. Anyways, just had a little issue for a moment there, but anyways, 2 minutes 45 seconds left to go here in Q2, and Reese actually did finally get a time in, and it was only a 27.3 that put him P4 at this moment. So basically the top 4 of Matt TB, Reese, Luke, hell, even Gecko, those guys are pretty much safe to get into Q2 into Q3. But now all eyes are going to be falling on the bottom 4. Well, we know Red is out. Maxwell is yet to get a time, but some bottom 4 5 drivers to note that could be at risk of being knocked out of Q2. You have Josh, Polygod, F1 driver, Payox, and Jack. Those guys are at risk of being knocked out of Q2. Well, here's the thing, and Gecko has called it a run. He's P5, so he's definitely done enough to probably think about getting into Q number 3. Now all eyes fall on. We have one eye on Maxwell, and all Maxwell just has to hope for is to not invalidate. If he invalidates, he's pretty much done. I think. Now, is F1 driver out of fuel? No, he's going for one more. He's going for one final attempt. We can't blame him. He's P10. He's definitely at risk of being knocked out. So, Maxwell, this is his now or never shot. He can't make a mistake. Well, I mean, even if he makes a mistake and invalidates, he's got one more opportunity to get things done. Because there's only 30 seconds left, and by the time he crosses, there'll probably be about 15 seconds left to go. So here we go. Well, the question is Beatnik going to make it? I don't know if Beatnik's going to make it, as Maxo goes on top of the timing table. There comes Josh, and he makes it with only a couple seconds left to go. And Jack, he puts in his fastest run of a 27.4, a millisecond behind the Chiller to be P8. So he is fine. So Jack, sort of okay right now. Let's see about F1 driver. He's at over half a second up. So by the looks of it, he might knock Beatnik off of P10 unless he puts on a massive amount of a stormer in this final sector. Here he comes. Let's see what he can do. There comes F1 driver, comes across the line. P9 with a 27.5. And Payox is not moving forward. He's not going to continue forward. And Luke is out on track too. Beatnik. So basically, Payox is definitely at risk. Beatnik's definitely at risk. Payox definitely at risk. F1 driver, even though he's got P9, he might still have a shot of losing out into Q2. And Payox bails out to the pits. There comes Luke, and he puts it on top near 25. And Beatnik comes across, and he only improves by a little, and is not enough. And Polygon's invalidated too. So now for Payox, and he's also invalidated. He's wrecked it too. So KVS and the Alphas are done. Payox, by the skin of his teeth, lives to make it through to Q3. So KVS crashed early. A crash at the end of this basically ended his run. So KVS is done. Redfire with Redfire Tiger out. Both of them did not set a time. So those two are P15 and P14 respectively. And the last of them, we say goodnight to Josh, Polygod, and Beatnik. Beatnik knocked out of Q2. Payox, look at that gap. Only just a hair under a tenth of a second between the two. Payox squeaks his way into P10 and into Q3. So, which one of these 10 drivers will put the fastest time on the table and put themselves on pole? Q3 coming up right after this. And now here we are on our way in full effect of Q3. So let's see. So pretty much a lot of these guys are coming out on deck. Let's see. So it looks like Maxwell, Reese, and Matt are not coming out just yet, but everyone else is. And the first car to be out for a run is Gecko. Checking out a couple things here, but anyway, so Gecko, he will be out. He'll be heading on over, and he'll be the first one to begin the lap. He'll be the first one to set it up and get ready to set the benchmark first time for these guys behind. I do wonder how Gecko will fare in terms of this event. Because Gecko, if you want to note, he got a seventh in Bahrain. Did not compete in Spain. Was one of multiple DNS in the Monaco event, finishing 10th. Did not compete in Baku, finished 5th in France, and didn't compete in Austria. So this is round 7 here, and this is Gecko's 4th appearance as he sets the benchmark of a 27-1. And Jack comes across, and it's only a 27-6. Here comes Payox now, and it's only a 27-9. The Chiller, Gecko's teammate, 27-3. F1 driver, 27-6. TB, top of the table, 26-7. Luke, 26-3. Maxwell will be starting his timed lap. And now what about Matt? Here's Matt now. And Reese is still sitting in the pits. He is not coming out yet. And there comes Matt, comes across the line, and it's P2, 26-6. And Maxwell gets us some DRS help from his teammate, and there comes Reese. Reese last out on the track. But now, Maxwell, let's see what Maxwell can do. I wonder if he has an answer to Luke's 26-3 that he has. That would be a phenomenal answer to see happen. But I mean, what would be nuts is to see a 25. I mean, we haven't seen a 25 yet. Luke did get a 26-1, so we haven't seen a 25-second lap time yet. And looks like Maxwell, Maxwell just shy of it with a 26-0. So Maxwell 26-0 puts it on top of the timing table. And Luke sitting in second with that 26-3. Now, and Reese, he's the only one left. Everybody has bailed into the pits except for Maxwell because he finished his lap. So now Reese is all by his lonesome. So literally, our top three at this point, it's Maxwell, Luke, and Matt, all in the 26s, and TB also in the 26s with a 26-7. So 4 drivers in the 26s, the rest in the 27s. So the question is Reese going to get himself into the 26s to basically make it split half that grid up? Half 26s, half 27s. That is the question. I mean, I do wonder it myself, if he will or not. Anyways, looks like we have a Ferrari coming back out on track. I don't know if that's Gecko or that's the Chiller. They're going back out for another run. And that is the Chiller coming back. So the Chiller back out on track. At this present time, the Chiller 6th fastest with a 27.3. Will most definitely be falling down to P7. But it is quite close. Anyways, here comes Reese now. Makes his way around the last couple corners as he comes across the line. And it's 2nd fastest. Reese splits the Red Bulls. And, I mean, Reese is not... This ain't the only split here. Reese has split the 2 Red Bulls, and further back, F1 driver has split the AlphaTauris. So, yeah. Literally, Reese is the only one left on the circuit. Was the only one left. Now the Chiller is going to be all by himself with only 3 minutes to go. And the Chiller starting, I presume, is probably going to be his last lap. Or unless he put enough fuel to get at least... or unless he put enough fuel to get at least 2 laps in. And he's abandoned the lap. So I think the Chiller must have had a problem in the loop. Yeah, so I guess maybe the Chiller must have had a problem, so he had to back off. So the Chiller, he's gonna have another shot. Basically, he's gonna have one more opportunity, and that one opportunity is gonna be when he crosses the line. Basically. And Reese is not gonna go forward. He is not gonna go forward, so that means one of the Red Bull's biggest threats for pole is out. So I don't get why Reese would do that. That was probably not a good. That's probably not a good decision on Reese's part. I mean, he might have had enough time to see if he could get at least another lap and maybe challenge for a pole. The chiller. So the chiller is going to be giving it one final go. Where is he? There he is. Now he's going to make his way through Maggot's Beckett's. Basically, an invalidation here will spell disaster for him. Anyways, here he comes. And he will be the first of the guys to cross the line. And here we go. So the chiller, 27.3, can he improve it? And he does by a couple tenths to put it in sixth fastest. Here comes Payox, comes across the line. He improves, but he doesn't change position. Here comes Gecko now. Exchanges back with him. And that is sixth there. TB, here he comes across the line. And only fourth fastest. It's only fourth fastest. Here comes Maxwell. Can he improve it? Can it get done? No, he cannot improve it, but he's still provisionally P1. Jack, if he didn't invalidate, he had a 27.2. It would have improved his time, but not enough to move further up. So he is P8, but now drops it down to P9. F1 driver goes into P8. And Matt, if Matt didn't invalidate, 26.6, slightly improved the time, and it's not enough. So Luke, last one to cross, and it is not enough. Maxwell's on pole. So there it is, Maxwell on pole with a 26.0, and Reese just squeaks it into second place. So look at that grid. It's a Red Bull 1-2, and it is a Mercedes 3-4. So that's going to be quite an interesting little pack of field here. So now, in a few moments, we will be moving up from our qualifying into the race itself. This should be good. Alright. So once we get this shit going. Here we go. Oh, here we go. The formation lap is underway. So, let's start off with the starting grid for today's event. It is an all Red Bull front row with Maxwell and Luke lining it up. Then it is a Mercedes row 2 with Reese and TB. Matt goes into P5 and he's going to be alongside row 3 with Gecko. Row 4 is held by DeChiller and F1 driver. Then it's an AlphaTauri row 5 with Jack and Payox. Then Beatnik and Polygon make up row 6. RRL Josh and Redfire Tiger in row 7. KVS and Jordan in row 8. Egg and Wiso make up row 9. And then it is Zakaria and AK in the back row. So 26 laps to distance, and looking at the tire setup, KVS, Redfire Tiger, Josh, Beatnik, and Gecko all opted for the medium compound tires, while everybody else is on the soft compound tires. So 26 laps the distance, and again a Red Bull getting ahead of the Mercedes. And like I said, in front of those standings, Luke to Reese, 10.5 points between those two. Constructors, Red Bull, 15.5 points clear Mercedes in the Constructors. So it is a war between Mercedes and Red Bull. And there is your predicted pit stop strategy powered by AWS for Maxwell. 10 to 11, between 10 to 12, he can choose either the mediums or the hard compound tires, and both those tires can make him last to the end of the race. And as the field get themselves into position here on the grid, Zakaria last up to get into position as he positions his car, and he is set and up and ready to go. So here we go, the 5 lights set to begin the British Grand Prix, and we are off and away, and it looks like Luke gets a far better start than Maxwell. TB gets a horrible start as they make their way through turn number 1, and we got a wreck behind. It looks like we got a wreck in the back. That is Wiso around in turn number 1 as everyone makes their way through the loop, as Matt makes the move up into P number 4, clearing TB, and there's a bunch of people getting into the position. A lot of drivers squirreling up for position, but Luke, with a far better start, gets clear of Maxwell to get himself into P in there, and looks like we had trouble. One of the AlphaTauris, that is Payox in trouble. So Payox, early trouble for him. And F1 driver also in trouble too. He spins out. That is just out of left field, right in the wood coat. So it is the two Red Bulls leading the way, with Elson Forgy and Maxwell leading the charge. Leading the charge in front, and it's Reese in second. Matt GW hanging in fourth. And we got trouble again. That is Wiso out again. And TB gets clear of Matt. Gets himself into P number P4. But now Matt, he's going to have to hold back and wait for another opportunity again. So as the field come across to complete lap number 1, it is Luke, Maxwell, Reese, TB, Matt, DeChiller, Gecko, Beatnik, Redfire, and Polygon to complete the top 10. And Wiso just having unfathomable amount of luck. Unfathomable amount of bad luck. I mean, literally, he's sitting in chapel, just not working out for him. So as these drivers make their way through, it is still we have a top 3 fight between top 3 fight between Luke, Maxwell, and Reese. And And Weiso goes into the pits. He's done. He's out, and he's out of it. Weiso done immediately. And F1 driver Payox and Jack in the pits as well. So those guys having some problems. Looking forward into the back here as we're on board with Maxwell, as he's seeing Luke right in front of him. Luke, the championship leader, and I wonder if he might be planning an attack maybe later on, or might be holding off for the time being. But Maxwell, one win to his credit, as Zakaria just gives himself a 3-second penalty. What a buffoon. And TB puts himself on top, and that's F1 driver round. Again, this time out of Woodcote. Again. So Maxwell now on deck, see if he can go for DRS. He's got the DRS assist, and he thought of it, but says, nope, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. So Maxwell is going to be waiting his turn on Luke. Meanwhile, as we're looking about, as the field starts to spread apart just a little bit, a lot of these guys are quite far away from each other. Other than the top 3 fight, the closest other fight is that, and we got trouble. That's the Courier round in Woodcote. So Woodcote catching out a lot of these guys. Meanwhile, Maxwell back in DRS. He's definitely making a move as he goes on to the inside of Luke before Stowe gets the clear, and Maxwell takes the place. Maxwell in the P1. So Maxwell in the P1. Jordan battling with Josh. That's for P14. Egg battling with AK. That's for P12. TB, who had a poor start, almost losing 2 positions at the get-go from the start, managed to rally it back. He's up in the P4, and he's caught right up to the train of the cars in front. Now this DRS train is chugging along down Wellington Straight, and there goes the Chiller. Moves over and lets his teammate Gecko through. Gecko up into P6, so Team Order's playing early for the Ferrari team. And Gecko now gets to turn it loose and goes into pursuit of Matt for P5. Now looking a bit further back, we have a little minor battle behind. Then, with Beatnik having Redfire Tiger and Polygon to worry about now. That's a 3-way fight for P. That's a 3-way fight for P. That's a 3-way fight for P8. As we get back onto the fight, look at this nice wing camera for Luke there. That's a pretty nice angle there, as he's chasing Maxwell around the course. See if he can try to get the lead back, because those two are not putting much distance on the 2 Mercedes behind them. I mean, literally, you got a couple people, almost contact between the 2 Red Bulls, and it looks like Luke's saying, yeah, you've had your fun, now it's my turn, as he moves into the inside. Maxwell gets ready to cover. So the 2 Red Bulls start to fight for the lead. And Luke decides to hang back for a moment, but now gets to try again on the inside. He says, nope, you don't want to do it. Gecko gets himself a penalty for his troubles. So meanwhile, while those 2 are fighting, now they got a little problem, because maybe that could capitalize on the Mercedes to hunt them down and try to get a spot. And Reese is slowly starting to catch. but I don't think it's gonna be happening just yet. While the two Ferraris hanging around, hanging about, and well, Egg and Jordan are fighting. That is for P14, P13. That's in cops. Taking a look. Looks like we're gonna have a fight coming up in just a moment. Here is Beatnik being gonna be challenged by Reese by Redfire Tiger. The Redfire Tiger willing to put some pressure on a Beatnik, see if he can get himself into P8. Beatnik sees the opportunity. There goes Redfire Tiger down the inside. Beatnik puts up a little fight, and Beatnik off the course. Beatnik off the course, and that is a bit of a problem for Beatnik. He falls backwards to P10. Was there contact between the two? Was there contact between the two? Redfire made the move? It could be. You never really could know. Here comes, now moving back up to the front. It is Maxwell, Luke on the inside now. The two Red Bulls get to fight again. And this time, now Reese gets to insert himself into the fight. And Reese wanted to sneak a peek, but he couldn't do it. And Redfire and Beatnik battle. And Redfire and Beatnik back at it again. This time Beatnik goes a little wide, but fights it back. This is a nice little three-way scrap. Paul backs off, says nope, I'm gonna wait, and Maxwell clears Luke. Maybe no, they're still fighting. As we just caught the end of that fight, Luke gets on the inside and gets clear. He is up into back into the lead. So it's a swap around between the two Red Bulls. And just seeing from the back of this, Redfire is still in P8. Beatnik trying to fight his way back to get himself into P9 or P8 again. TB will fight with might consider fighting with Reese, but I'm not sure. As everybody gets back into DRS, it's literally the Mercedes Red Bull show. These are the only guys that are fighting it. Just looking at it now, here comes Beatnik, seeking on wanting another challenge to Red. He wants a shot, he wants an opportunity, he wants to rectify what happened earlier. But Redfire still holding his ground, and Redfire still holding P8 over Beatnik right now. And one thing to note, the incident involving Redfire and Beatnik has been noted by the stewards. That's the order per race control. And TB still eyeing for a shot, wanting to go for it, but just can't seem to do it. And I mean, Zakaria, give himself another penalty. Jesus, Zakaria's not having fun. That's for sure. He's got 9 seconds of penalties. And actually, Payox is up in the wall, and we have a safety car. Safety car deployed after Zakaria and Payox came together, and that is going to throw everything for a fiery loop. So now Luke is in, Reese is in, and TB is also coming in too. Mercedes are going for yet another double stack. I mean, last time a double stack happened, that went horribly wrong. Let's see, it might be working this time. It might work this time. And no, it doesn't. It backfired on TV again. He's now behind Matt. And Maxwell's out. That made no sense. And Payox drives through, speeding on the VSC. And wow, Maxwell out of the event. So look who's leading this race. It's KVS. KVS is your race leader. Luke is sitting in second. Reese is third. Matt is in fourth. And TV is fifth. Gecko 6. Redfire 7. The Chiller in 8th. Polygon is in 9. And Beatnik in P10. What I want to know is why the hell did Maxwell get himself disqualified? Hold on, just one sec. Okay, so I think we just discovered some new information. The reason Maxwell was disqualified was because when Luke pitted, Maxwell passed him because Luke went to the pits. But this game, F1 2021, said nope, you must get the place back. You must get the place back because you ignored yellow flags. Well, Maxwell couldn't do it because Luke was in the pits. So the game disqualified him for passing a position. Wow. That's just sad. Oh, never mind. No, I'm incorrect. It's because he passed the safety car at such a high speed. When he slammed on his brakes to get the place back, the game only gave him like a couple seconds to get the place to let the safety car past him. And Egg is out. Egg has crashed. So Egg has crashed, and Payox has now been allowed to get himself into the thing. So Egg has crashed in Woodcoat, so Egg will be the second retirement of the event. So safety car is in this lap. So there you have it. So F1 2021 still being a broken, buggy game. Apparently when you pass the safety car, it gives you like literally 5 seconds to get the place back to the safety car, or else you're out. So KVS off and away, but he's in Alfa Romeo. How's that gonna fare to a Red Bull like Luke? There he comes, and KVS leads a couple laps of this Grand Prix, which is really good. But here comes Luke on the outside / inside now, and he clears, and Reese gets clear of Matt. Gets up in the second place. KVS, I mean, give the props to the guy. He's putting up a valiant fight, but it's not good when you're in a losing fight, and he is just tumbling down the order, and he's already gone to 6th, and we're just finishing through Sector 1. So that is the story there. Luke now leads. He's about 7/10 clear of Reese. Matt's sitting right behind in 3rd, and he's got TV up his butt to try to get P3 off of him. And this should be very interesting to say the least. I do wonder if TV is willing to make an attack to try to get in there. There goes Red Fire Tiger as well. He is trying to make his move. And I think that safety car is actually going to help a couple of these, some other drivers. Like take F1 driver who just cleared Josh to get in a P14. So, let's see what happens here as Luke currently sets the fastest lap. Here comes Red Fire on KVS, and he gets clear, and he's off and away. He is off and away, Red Fire, into P6. And the Chiller clears him, P7. Looks like TV gets a far better exit. Is he willing to make a move, wanting to try to get into P3? Is he willing to make that lunge? Is he going to? No, he's not. Just doesn't have the space yet. TB wants to get into P3. He wants a shot, but he just can't seem to figure out a chance for an attack. Just can't seem to figure out a way to make the move and make it stick. And looks like Red Fire and the Chiller having a little scrap. Meanwhile, as we assume going to be entering DRS time, we're going to be halfway through this event, and Luke, 1.2 seconds clear Reese. And the Chiller still in the path, looking in the eye path of Red Fire. TB still in the same groove, looking to clear of Matt to get himself into the P3 position. I mean, literally, Luke is the is the valiant one left for Red Bull. I mean, with that 26 points he's got, compared to what Reese and TB have, which is 30 points, Red Bull is going to be gaining only, Mercedes is only going to be gaining 4 points in the Constructors. And Payox, he has pulled into the pits and out of it. TB way off the track. So TB had a failure. And he's got Gecko up his butt now. So TB had a failure. So Gecko now looking for an attack. But also don't forget, Gecko's got 6 seconds of time penalties right now. So but yeah, that's a failure from TB. That's caused some time to mess up. And speaking of time to fail, Red Fire Tiger loses P6 to the Chiller. So at this current time, top 10, it's Luke, Reese, Matt, TB, Gecko, the Chiller, Red Fire, KVS, Polygon, and Beatnik. But bear in mind, KVS has yet to pit. KVS yet to pit, and yeah, and actually, speaking of KVS, he just lost P8 to Polygon. So now Gecko hounding all over TB. Matt can breathe a sigh of relief because of TB's mistake. He now is going to be all on his own to try to attack and hunt over Reese, who I think is out. Well, he's got DRS range, but he's going to be out of the DRS range against Luke. And Gecko, TB battle, and TB off the track. Gecko put in a little fight, but TB clear, and TB gets himself a 3-second penalty for his trouble. And, Gecko is inside TB. Oh, contact in the back. Contact between Gecko and TB, and that is no good. Here comes Gecko again, going to make another attack. Nope, he doesn't want to, he changes his mind. Meanwhile, Red Fire hunting down the Chiller to try to get P6 back. So the Chiller trying his best to try to hunt down there. Here comes Gecko again on a TB. TB says no way, he ain't getting by. TB putting up a fight. And the Chiller putting up a fight against Red Fire, and AK around out of left field. And AK in trouble out of left field. And Gecko just can't seem to put a damper onto TB. Neither can Red Fire onto Chiller. Jack clears Beatnik, gets himself into the last point, and F1 driver clears Jordan to get the P12. So the question is with Beatnik, was it wise to go onto the hard compound tires? That's my question. Is it wise enough there? As Zakaria darts off for the pits, and he's out of the race. So Zakaria done. That is our 4th retirement of the event.
Anyways, the top three still stay the same. Luke, Reese, and Matt. And Reese, just to say with honesty, he is basically on track for his fifth, like literally his fifth second place finish of the season. Anyways, Gecko still trying to hunt down TB. And here comes Matt on the inside, bonsai move, and he clears Reese. Reese up in a P3, Matt up in a P2 now. For Matt in P2, this is going to be a unique turn of events. That's for sure. But now with Matt in the way of Reese, this is going to hamper his chances to keep reeled in the ground on Luke. And Luke now pulls away. I mean, literally, last lap, Reese was 1.1 seconds behind Luke. Now it's over 2 seconds. And Reese just trying to see if he can make the move. TB still being harassed. Still being harassed by Gecko. The Chiller still being harassed. And KVS. I mean, as much as I want to give credit to KVS, he's gonna have to pit to get off those medium compound tires. I mean, I give the guy valiant effort to try the alternate strategy, but I don't think the alternate strategy was the way to go. I do want to say that. So the alternate tire strategy was probably not the way to go for KVS here. He's in P9 right now on 17 lap old medium tires. I mean, I hate saying it, unless there's another safety car, this strategy is not going to work for KVS. Meanwhile, looking about, Matt and Luke running off with the lead with this. But yeah, Luke running away, almost 2.5 seconds clear of Matt. And Gecko still just can't seem to get clear of TV. Oh, yeah, I just don't know what to say here. But this is definitely But also don't forget, Gecko does have 9 seconds of penalties. He does have 9 seconds of time penalties, so where he sits right now, he's going to get dumped to P7. Also, the Chiller still putting up a good effort fighting off Red Fire Tiger to keep that P6 available. But Reese now having problems. He's trying, he's fighting, but he just can't get clear of Matt. Oh, maybe he's got a chance now on the inside, and Reese gets that second place back. So Reese reclaims second place, but for how much longer has Gecko still harassing TB? TB is just not having fun. I mean, literally having to deal with Gecko for 8 laps, it's like dealing with a wart on your butt. I mean, literally, Gecko has become TB's wart. Red Fire Tiger hanging on strong. Red Fire Tiger's hanging on strong in P7 right now. Towards the midfield of this group, Paul God has a little train with him, being KVS and Jack. Jack has clear, and KVS, there he goes, KVS is in. So KVS will go onto the soft compound tires, and when he comes out on track, he will be in P14. So KVS decided to take a gamble and take a risk to go on the alternate tire strategy, but unfortunately, it did not work. And ooh, TB and Gecko fighting. Team Gecko has finally broke free, and he's got TB. And look at that, they're going into the thing, and oh, contact. Oh, bump from Gecko. Gecko not playing nice. Oh, contact again. Yeah, they're really going at it hard. This is some rough racing here. This is a bit of some rough racing here, but anyways, here comes TV again. Want to make another attack. Here he goes, on the inside. Gecko tries to put a squeeze attempt, but couldn't get it done. TV back and forth. That was some good fighting there. Jack getting clear of Paul God, gets himself into P8. And F1 driver, look at the thing about that too. But think about this, Jack and F1 driver, they got 3-second time penalties too. So this will open the door for Beatnik to get back into the points. So looks like F1 driver is looking to eye up Polygod to try to get himself into P9. So F1 driver in the hunt to try to get himself into P9, but at this point he's gonna have to get some nice grip clear of Beatnik and Polygod to keep that P9. And unfortunately with Gecko, he's fallen so far back from TB, I think his soft tires he has, they have just given up. So I think Gecko is going to have no choice but to go into tire save mode to spare his tires. And Luke responds to Reese's fastest lap, gives himself the fastest lap, and yeah. So this is definitely going to be quite interesting here. But still, we have quite a few battles left on track, and there's only a few more laps left to go in this event. So Matt, looking to get himself on track for another podium. So that would be good for him. TB feels okay after. Yeah. So let's see. Taking a look here. So. So TB with 3 second, Gecko 6 second. I thought Gecko had 9 second. In honesty, well, and AK's crashed, and a safety car, late safety car. The chiller. Well, that's going to be a 5-second time penalty for the Chiller. He was committed to go into the pits, but then came back onto the track and right in front of red fire too. So I think that was, I mean, he might get buffed for more incidents there, maybe. But Beatnik going on to the medium compound tires, soft compounds. So Beatnik's gonna have to be pretty quick, and I think the safety car is actually gonna help KVS out too, because it is gonna be a 2-lap sprint to the end. But also bear in mind, this will not work for those guys that have penalties, and safety car is going in. So Beatnik and KVS have to be very quick to get up into the. And off goes Luke. And he's gone and gone. And he is all out. And he's out. So Luke almost a second clear of Reese now. Matt get himself to see if he can line up his way into this. But now with this safety car, this will change up the entire order from 4th down. So Luke on deck to set his his 4th win of the season. And Reese, saying it with honesty, Reese on deck for his 5th second place finish. So, and Beatnik gets himself a penalty. Good lord, man. So here we go, as the field enters the final lap. We begin the final lap now. Luke, one more lap to go to get himself his 4th win. So yeah, definitely is going to be a unique turn of events here. But I do wonder how this whole order is going to be changed about as he makes his way through Luffield for the final time. Reese right behind in second. He'll be his 5th second place of the season, so that's just not going to be good for him. But anyways, and Beatnik's crashed it. Beatnik has screwed it. Beatnik had a chance for a fast lap, but it couldn't be done. But as he makes his way around the final corners, and this is for win number 4 of season 5, Luke is your winner and gets fastest lap. And after everything is swapped about, And as all the positions get swapped about, the Chill will take 4, TB5, Red Fire is in 6th. Polygod is 7. Gecko has been plummeted to 8th. Well, and wow, interesting choice to appear on screen for driver today, being Red Fire Tiger. But there it is. There he is for his fourth race win of the season. Luke is the winner, and Reese, as you can see on the podium, 5th, second place of the event. Matt back on the podium. Good to see him back on there. So, who can I put for driver today off of commentary? Well, let's see. Well, one contender for driver today is Matt, being able to put up a fight and hold his own against Reese. So he is a good contender for driver today. Despite his penalties, Gecko is also a good contender for driver today, being a annoying little war to TB for a good 10 laps and taking a fight to the Mercedes. That was some good moments there. And what the heck? We'll also give a note to Red Fire Tiger as well. Crashed out in Q2 before he could even get a lap in. Had horrible runs in Q1, and he put himself to get himself P6 after penalties applied. So that is a good note for him. So this will conclude the stream for today. So let's take a look at this. Well, let's just say this. We are off for a week because this is the transfer period for the F1 for all the tiers. But once we get back into it, on Friday, October 8th, at 7 p.m. UK, F1 Tier 2 returns back, racing in Suzuka. Then, Saturday, October 9th, 4:30 p.m. UK, F2 will be in Russia. And then, also October 9th, at 8 p.m. UK, F1 will be in Hungary. So, from RPL Streams, this is Tiny Ironwolf saying good night and have a wonderful one.